understand them. This is a little bit of a difficult concept to grasp at first blush, I know. But I want you to think of it this way. There's a chap I work with sometimes called Mr. Mark Vicente, and he was in the Nixium cult, and then he exposed the Nixium cult. He had a HBO series he was featured in called The Vow. And one of the things Mark taught me about cult psychology is that in order to survive the trauma of living inside of a cult by cult coordinates, which are pathological coordinates, in order for it to qualify as a cult, it must be pathological. You create a cult self. And what Mark told me was that whilst inside the cult, which was a personal development cult, he was cured of certain phobias. They gave him therapy for certain issues he'd had in childhood that were then resolved, and so on and so forth. But that then when he left the cult, those issues came back. And when he went through his own therapy, through his own therapeutic process, he's been lucky he's had access to some of the best experts in the world in terms of deprogramming people from cult psychology. It was explained to him that he had developed a cult self, and that cult self healed, quote unquote. That cult self overcame childhood trauma. That cult self was resolved from phobia. But that cult self is not the real self. In the same way, when we're entangled in the shared fantasy of narcissistic abuse, which, remember, I've explained it as being kind of like in the pod of pink goo from the Matrix, where you're being fed a simulated version of reality, you are divided. You are split from your authentic self. Why would that be addictive? Well, let's be honest for a second. Let's be really honest, because I play this game and we all play this game sometimes, you know. You look at psychopaths, you look at narcissists, and you clutch your pearls and you think, oh my God, how could they possibly do that? How could they be so evil? As though none of us ever lied to get what we wanted. None of us have ever engaged in manipulation to get what we wanted. None of us ever craved for something or lusted after something or someone and then did things to, you know, that are outside of our normal moral boundaries. We took shortcuts, at least. We stretched our moral boundaries. We told ourselves self-justifying stories for doing the things that we did. When we clutch our pearls and say, oh my God, how could we do this? We're sort of playing a role play, a little bit of a game. I'm in therapy. I do transactional analysis, or my therapist is using TA with me. And he says it's not a question of when we are playing games or not. He said we're always playing games. It's only a question of what game we are playing and the payoff of the game. So the payoff of the game of clutching your pearls and going, oh my God, how could narcissists and psychopaths be so evil? The payoff is, I would never do that. The payoff is, they're bad, I'm good. That's a kind of splitting. That's a kind of infantile primitive defense from the reality that in our own hearts, there is darkness, there is shadow, there is ugliness there. And what I think it's useful to do is to just remind yourself that, hey, yes, I'm different from them. I would never do what they do. I'm not trying to draw a moral equivalence. I'm not engaged in sophistry or moral relativism because I don't believe in it. I think it's disgusting. I think it's decadent and ultimately leads to degeneracy. But honesty is good. Honesty is a good thing to be able to do. Why do I say this? Because when you are your cult self, when you are your narcissistic self, you kind of let go of the responsibility of having to be an authentic adult. You don't have to be Socratically conscientious. You don't have to measure and weigh your actions, your intentions, and your behavior. You don't have to conscientiously scan the self for shreds of the shadow. Is the shadow here? Am I telling myself I'm being kind, but secretly I'm doing this for something else? You let go. And you get to play. You get to be childlike. It's dangerous and it's dark, but it's fun. Why do people drink alcohol? It's a poison that kills you. Why do people snort cocaine? It's a poison that kills you. Why do people do any number of the myriad things that human beings do and that we've all done, knowing it's self-destructive because it feels good. So what are you addicted to? Are you addicted to the person, or are you addicted to the permission to be different, to be grandiose, to be self-centered, to be narcissistic in some ways? Now, what's the dividing line here? I don't think the victims of narcissistic abuse ever become truly abusive. I think there's reactive abuse. I think there's complex post-traumatic stress. You could be cranky with people. You could be offhand with people. But I don't think there's the raw intentionality of malice ever. Well, I've never seen it. Maybe that's my codependent naivety speaking. I've not seen it. I've not seen it transferred. Here's a person who's been with a narcissist. Now they're behaving abusively. They're being unkind. They're in an emotional flashback. They're having a rage attack. Okay, we get it. It's temporary. And personality disorders are permanent, pervasive, and personal, and they're not dependent upon the context. When people are recovering from narcissistic abuse, it's dependent on the context. But you could still be narcissistic. You could still have a little bit of narcissism light, and you might be getting high from the supply. Your narcissistic abuser was getting high on the supply. When we're children, when we're very small children, and I think a lot of parents who I see interacting with their kids, they don't get this. They have more power and less power than they think. Children under the age of 10, they do what you do. And they can't help it. It's genetic, it's biological, it's driven. I don't have kids, but my sister has 2 small boys, and she couldn't get them to eat fruit. So I would walk into the living room with them whilst they're, playing with toys or, doing whatever they're doing. And I'd sit down and I'd open a box of pineapple and I'd eat the pineapple and I'd go, pineapple, good. And they'd look at me because I'm talking in a silly voice. That's not my normal voice. And they'd be like, what's he doing? And then I'd eat another piece of pineapple and I'd look at them and I'd chew it and I'd go, pineapple, good. And I'd just look at them and they'd start to laugh. And then they'd come over and they'd be like, their little heads are like, what is this? And in the end, I stayed there for 10 days. It became just a daily ritual. We would open a box of pineapple and the 3 of us would sit there like cavemen, eating the pineapple and looking at each other and going, pineapple, good, and they would just laugh and they would eat their fruit. Because I knew that they would do what I was doing. But if I said, look, Uncle Richard would be so much happier if you ate your pineapple and you were a good boy and you ate your fruit and you ate your vegetables, they're not going to do it. They do what we do. Trauma is infantilizing. You look at the narcissist and at an unconscious level, you withdraw back to your childhood. Yes, you do what they say, but you can fight what they say. And it goes into your conscious mind when they say. But you're also modeling them in an infantilized way at the level of what they're doing. And that includes how they process emotions. This is why we have to be careful around kids. If you're emotionally dysregulated around kids and you're the authority figure, you're a primary caregiver, they can model that. Even if they don't know it, you're sneaking off and you're taking a Valium to calm yourself down, you're having a quick glass of wine. I'm not being judgmental, I'm not being morally judgmental, but that's going in. They know that the adults in their environment are using substances to change their emotional state. They know the adults in the environment are using their phone to dissociate or the TV to dissociate. And they do what you do. I think we do the same thing with narcissists. We retreat into an infantilized state, primitive state, and we go, hey, they're performing in a way that's getting them narcissistic supply, and then I can see that they're high on the narcissistic supply. Let me try that. And then you do in your way, not the way they do, because you can't do what they do because you're not pathological like them, but you try it in your way and it works. And then that is what you become addicted to. That's the addiction, is the person you are when you're with them, not them. Ladies and gents, I have a new course. It is hopefully the last course I ever make. I don't think I'll need to make another one after this. I've set myself no time limits, no restrictions. I've treated it as though I'm doing face-to-face coaching with you. And so if I need to cover a topic and it needs to be covered thoroughly, I take the time to do it. At the moment, I think the course is around 15 hours long. If I need to make amendments afterwards, I reserve the right to do that. I will continue adding to this course for as long as I feel is necessary until I've gone, okay, that's it. That's me. I've said everything I can say about helping people to recover from narcissistic abuse. The course is a total roadmap, a total narcissistic abuse recovery roadmap from beginning, step by step by step by step by step to the end. The syntax of the course has been set carefully. You're going to ask in the comments, can I do this with my therapist? Can I do this with my counselor? Please do. Please do get the assistance of a qualified mental health practitioner, preferably one who has a very good understanding of narcissistic abuse, and they can go through the course with you and they can adapt bits of the course for you. If you do the course, I can't promise that all the problems will go away in a few months. What I would say is a realistic target is that inside of 2 months of working on the course, you would start to feel 80 to 90% better. That's realistic. And you might go, well, that would mean I only have 10% healing to do. Yes, my friends, but that last 10 might be an ongoing journey for the rest of your life. I want you to set your expectations properly. It's a very good course. I'm very happy with it. It's very thorough. It leaves no stone unturned, but it is a course. It's a course we do online. So there's a limit to how much it can actually do. Therapy is going to help as well. If you do these techniques and your therapist takes the techniques and adapts them for you specifically, it's going to be very, very powerful. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for your time and for your attention. And I look forward to speaking to you again very soon. Thank you.
Listen, chosen one, and listen carefully to what I'm about to say in this video. It's very important that you listen to every single word I'm about to say, okay? Because things are getting really serious for you, all right? I don't know if you noticed, but things are getting better for you, okay? It might appear that things aren't getting better for you. I don't know what your situation is or what you're going through, but I just know that you're the chosen one, okay? Now, being that you are the chosen one, you gotta keep in mind, you are the answer, all right? Just like Allen Iverson, he was the answer. He was the chosen one in basketball, okay? You are the answer in whatever it is that you're doing, okay? A lot of people don't know that you're the answer, but then again, a lot of people know that you have the answer. As a matter of fact, you got all the answers. But see, a lot of people know that, all right? A lot of people don't know that, but a lot of people know that. Now, this is what's going to happen. This is what you got to be careful of and be mindful of, chosen one. You gotta be quiet, okay? You got to shut up, keep your mouth closed as best as you can, okay? Don't tell nobody your plans. Don't tell nobody what you're going to do. Don't tell nobody where you're going to be this summer. Don't tell nobody what you got going on, what you're working on. Not unless it's chosen ones like your big brother Trent. Okay, not unless it's other chosen ones that you're familiar with or that you connected to. Okay, but other than that, I'm gonna tell you what's about to happen. A lot of people who have been watching you, okay, a lot of people who have been spying on you, monitoring spirits, they're gonna come out the woodworks and they're gonna try to befriend you, okay? And they're very clever at how they're gonna do this, okay? They already got a plan. They got a master plan, okay? These people think they got you figured out, okay? Because they've been watching you the whole time. And what you gotta understand is, even though you might be alone right now, even though you might be in a situation where you don't know what's gonna happen, I'm telling you, as your big brother, you are elevating. You are elevating. This is the season right now, okay? You in the eye of the hurricane right now. It feels like nothing is moving. It feels like nothing is happening. But listen, take it from my experience. Anytime you in the eye of a hurricane, anytime it feels like nothing is happening, nothing is moving for you, nothing is shaking. I don't know. Maybe maybe your sales might be down. Maybe you can't come up with no raps. Maybe ain't nobody liking your pictures. I don't know what you got going on in your life. Maybe the job is stagnant right now. You're not getting a raise. You're not getting a promotion. Whatever the case may be. Listen, from my experience, anytime you're going through a period where it's very quiet, just get ready because people are gonna come after you. Okay, and they're gonna come after you because they ain't got nowhere else to go. See, all these Decepticons who left you hanging out to dry, all these people who turned their back on you, they know they turned their back on you. It's on their consciousness every day. They think about you. They thought about you this morning when they woke up. But see, pride comes before the fall. And see, these people are falling. They falling off. All right? They losing traction. Okay? That's because they did you wrong as the chosen one. Remember, anybody that comes in contact with you, the chosen one, and they do you wrong, it could be very, very dangerous for them, okay? They not doing good. I can tell you that from my experience. People that have left you hanging out dry, people that have done you wrong, people that have talked down on you, spread rumors about you, they are not doing good right now. You are their only hope because they see you still smiling. They see you still going. They see you still waking up. You still doing your thing. You will not stop. Comment below and say, I will not stop, Big Brother Trend, because I know I'm talking to somebody out there. But real talk, chosen one, you got to be quiet, man. Don't let these, you know what I want to say, but don't let these people come back into your life no more. I'm telling you, man, they're going to start calling your phone. Hey, how you doing? You know, they're going to start trying to reach out to you, old friends from high school, you know, old colleagues who you used to work with. Everybody from far and wide. They're going to hear about your name if they don't know about it already. And most of them already know what you got going on. Most of them already figured it out that you are the chosen one. And I'm trying to tell you, man, they're going to try to come back into your life. But now is the time you got to go hush mouth mode, man. You got to be quiet, man. Act like you don't know nothing. Act dumb. Play dumb, man. I'm telling you, that's the best peace you're going to ever have when you play dumb around people. When you start meeting new people, man, don't tell them nothing about yourself. Don't tell them nothing about yourself, man. I like to call it, what they call it, white lies. White lies, because you're not really lying. You're just trying to keep this person from, you're just trying to keep that person out of trouble from knowing your business, and then you don't want nobody to know your business. Tell people white lies, man. Tell them white lies. You know what I tell people when I meet them? They be like, what do you do? I be like, I'm a counselor. They be like, and then they're going to try to figure you out. They're going to try, for who? Who are you a counselor for? I'm like, adults. What do you mean, adults? They're going to try to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper because they're trying to pocket watch you. I'm telling you, everybody's trying to pocket watch you, chosen one. They want to find out if you got the sauce. They want to find out if you got the cash. And they know you got it. They know you manifest things easily. They know the Most High continuously blesses you, you know, but you got to tell them a white lie. Nah, like you just say you do something like, you know, you're an architect. Let's say you're an architect. What do you do for a living? Nah, I just sketch. What do you sketch? You know, this is just a hobby. You know, I just do it, you know, when I get bored. And then, you know, I go online to my Facebook page and I just try to sell them to my people that follow me. You know, I make $10 here, $10 there. Sometimes I won't make no money. And they say, oh,